post-trauma, it's such an interesting thing. Like, I'm standing here in front of you and my mind is calculating. I'm looking at you and I'm calculating who is the one who will stand up and will be a threat, who can shoot me, who can stab me, what are the exit points. Like, you don't control your mind. Sometimes I go to the bathroom and I'm just thinking how high is the like, I'm going to the bathroom and I'm thinking how high is the doors and if I can jump between the doors, if there is a threat and if I need to hide and if someone going to stab me in the toilet. Like, every time I'm looking about, like, if I'm going to a restaurant, I usually sit with my back to the wall just to have the view and to be in a controlling state of mind. And since October 7, my mind works in the same way. This is a little bit behind the scenes in our mind of the Nova survivors and everyone impacted by the war. My name is Aino Kagno. I'm 27 years old. I was the main photographer at the Nova Festival. I was managing the approximately 18 photographers. 3 of the photographers was my photographers, my protege. Some of them, one of them is still fighting in the army. The second one, she's in severe PTSD, and she's kinda didn't get back to life. And the third one, Yoni, is get killed. And next to that, my mission today is not only to talk about the horror stuff and the bad stuff and the terror. I will share my story, but more importantly, I want to show you there is also light in this terrible story, and there is hope and resilience and how we get united. I hope that you will forgive my accent. I know it sounds like don't mess with the Zohan. And if you don't understand something, please ask me. I usually love also to do Q&A with the people and to interact. Also because of the accent and because you also have questions. So I think besides my personal story of survival, feel free, raise your hand and ask anything. I want to share with you the behind the scenes, what happened and how we as Nova survivors look at that, and to give you a little bit more perspective on like how to deal with trauma and what we experience and the stuff that don't tell you in the news. For me, it's important to tell the story of my community, and that I think that most people doesn't even realize. So today in my speech, I will divide it in 3 subjects. The first one, I will give you the before. I talk a little bit about music, a little bit about my life and what's happened before. Then I will talk to you about like what's happened after 6/29 and my survival story, and a little bit story of my friends who some of them survived and some of them not. And in the end, I will try to share with you like the light. In front of all this darkness, there was a lot of light, there was a lot of unity, there was a lot of hope. In my perspective, I saw a lot of positive stuff happen after October 7, and I would like to share that with you and how you can invest, what you can do now 2 years after. I also, it's a little bit emotional for me. It was 2 years ago, and the logic says that the more time goes, it will be easier. And like this year, it's kind of harder for me to talk. It's becoming more and more emotional. So forgive me if it will take me a little bit time to handle myself. Yeah. So approximately 60,000 years ago, when we were cavemen, we were sitting next to a fire, and someone took a stick and started hitting a rock, and this is how the beat was created. And someone who took a bamboo and started whistle inside, and this is how the notes get created. And like, kind of by mistake, this is how the music was created. And with the time, a lot of tribes found that when you listen to music and you dance to music, you can go to higher spiritual realms. And this kind of mindset of music and dancing, this is the core value of the Nova community, of the Psytrance community. Please raise your hand if you know about Coachella. You know what is it? Okay. Nova Festival was not like Coachella. It was more close to Woodstock 69 and Burning Man combination. Okay. It's very important to understand that because we actually share the values of love and freedom and like free love. It's very hard to explain to people what it's meaning to be on the dance floor with people and to be in a spiritual realm when you kind of forget your future, you forget your past, you forget your name, you forget your ego, and you just in the moment. You fell in love in the being of just being here. It's like, we're also saying it's like a synagogue for us to go to these type of festivals. It's not just young people who are going to drink some alcohol and getting fucked up and to listen to music. People finding God in this type of psytrance festival in the Nova community. I find God in this realm. Like a couple years before I went to the festivals, I was an atheist, and in these festivals, in these spiritual realms, when you're dancing and feeling all this love and connecting to the music, there's no words inside. It's something that really, it's one of the most precious feeling that you ever can imagine. So this is a bit background about what's happened. A little bit about me. My name is Aino. I'm 27 years old. Originally I'm from Toulon, and for the last 5 years I'm living as a nomad and adventurer. It's meaning that most of the time I am living outside of Israel and I'm searching for adventure. I was going 19 days alone from the border of Lebanon to the border of Egypt. I was going to the Amazon jungle for 14 days without food and water to see how they are living, the tribes. And I was doing that for a couple of years. With the time, I pick up the camera and I start shooting a lot of things. And then I found this type of festivals. And I found my home. And when I'm saying my home, it's like, it's my synagogue, it's my spirituality, it's my tribe, it's my family. Like, you can go to these festivals and like you can, how to say it, like, even if you don't know no one, you're feeling so much security, so much love, that if you're feeling sick, always people will help you. If you need water, they always give you. It's very common to go to these festivals and people just ask you to come to the camp and to give you food and water and drink with you. And like, this is a true love your neighbor mentality. The same mentality on October 7, it was the same mentality that people in the bomb shelters were kind of jumping on grenades to save other people that don't know, because it's actually love your neighbor, and in Hebrew it's ואהבת לרעך כמוך, and this is part of our core values. After October 7, before I go inside the terrible attack, after October 7, a little bit about me. I was a main photographer. After October 7, I said that I must do something. I opened war rooms, so I started doing connection in logistics with drivers and IDF soldiers, because everything was shut down. After that, I was making content about the Nova survivors, and I was marketing Nova survivors help centers, because a lot of them were in depression and was suicidal, because they could not bear the stuff they was seeing. So I was making kind of videos about that, inviting the people to come to the Nova healing centers. My videos get millions of views, and we could find the survivors. I don't know if you know, but there was 3,500 people in the festival. Around 400 people get killed and kidnapped only from the festival. So it's like 20 to 30 years old people, civilians who just went to the festival. After that, I was doing international news, BBC, NBC, all this stuff. And then I was arranging festivals to the soldiers inside of the IDF bases to raise the morale. Because the soldiers itself, after 100 days in the battle, were kind of drained away, all the energy. They could not understand what they were fighting for. You could see death in their eyes. and for me it was very important to show them like what they're fighting for. And so we were making like these festivals in the middle of the war. Rocket was shooting on us. We needed to change the locations all the time. We done crazy things as a production. So we done that, and after that I went to USA to give more speeches, to talk more about my story, and eventually I opened an art gallery in Los Angeles to tell the untold story of the Nova survivors. Basically that's it, that's me. Any questions before I go to my personal story? No? Okay, good. On October 7th, I was the main photographer. I was part of the Nova Festival production, so I knew most of the organizers, and I knew like from the 3,500 people, I knew so much faces because I was working with them for a lot of time, with the people, with the tendency, like with the people who are going to have fun in the festivals. I came there alone. I met my team. I sent them to places to work, to each one have their own space. It was very, very good festival. The energy was very high. Everyone was excited to go there. The music was great. We bring a lot of international artists. It was a whole production. Then I was on the main stage in the sunrise, and you need to understand that the sunrise is the most important time in the trance festival, in the Psytrance festival, because this is the transition between the darkness and the light. In the dark there is music that, like, it's more cold, and the music it's more dark, so people are kind of dancing alone in their own hoodie and kind of listening to the music, and everyone went into the sunrise because you start to see the faces around you, you start to see the smiles, and the dance floor is changing. It's becoming a way you're not dancing alone with the music, you're dancing with your tribe. Like in the videos that I uploaded afterwards, you can see that all the people are jumping together. Like you see people looking left and right and sharing stuff. I don't need to know your name to know that you are my brother. It was a really free love festival. And the music go higher and higher and higher, and the energy went so much. I don't know how to explain this feeling of you dancing on the dance floor, you feeling the love, you feeling the vibe, everything is perfect, you seeing the sunrise, the music is beating, you really feeling like in heaven. And then the music stopped. In the beginning, there was no panic. Everyone kind of was, yeah, it sucked, but we regular to silence. It's part of the life in Israel. So nobody was kind of doing from that a big scene. And after around 10 minutes, it became weird. It became weird that we still hearing a lot of bombs, and the silence continue. And then you understand something is different. We all were laying on the floor with our hands above our head because the missiles was close, like very close to us. Then, for the first time in my life, the cops were saying, "Okay, it's not going to go to find a safe space. It's evacuate. Go away. It's never happened to us that you need to leave this place." Then I understand that something different. Who of the crowd have kids that playing video games? Please raise your hands. Okay, good. Have you heard about the game Call of Duty?
Yes.
Good. Unfortunately, I could not go combat because I had brain tumor when I was young in my head. But I was playing a lot of combat games, and every person who playing combat games knows there is a couple types of shooting the guns. There is automatic, half automatic, and yeah. Sorry for my English. What happened? We started hearing guns, and I could hear the gunshots, and I was understanding it was not the IDF, because IDF usually shooting like ta ta ta, like bullets that are going like very precisive, 3 bullets at a time. But I was hearing from far away, like from very very far away, and I could understand that something is different. And most of the people stayed on the festival. In this moment, I said, I just go to my team, think that everything fine. I ask everyone to evacuate from my team. There was a big mess at the festival, and I get into my car and I get away. The festival was 3,500 people. It's around 2,000 cars, and there was a big jam in the highway next to the festival. But the jam happened because people was getting away from the festival. And from one side of the jam, there was terrorists coming in the cars with RPGs and rifles and start shooting. So everyone was doing U-turn to go to the other side. The problem, and a lot of people could evacuate. The problem is that after a while, a couple tens of minutes, there was another car with terrorists that was kind of blocked that way. And what happened, they closed us in this highway. So from one side there is the festival, there is a highway and it gets blocked, and there is only the fields. I was one of the luckiest one who get away from the jam and could escape. My story goes that I get hit, my car got hit, and I went for the first gas station. I was not, in this situation you don't really understand what's happening, okay? Everything going very, very fast. I'm going to the gas station and I think a lot of cars kinda, doors open, I don't see people. It's feeling like in a zombie apocalypse, you know? You don't see people, everything shattered, the sirens go crazy, you're hearing the bombs, you're hearing the gunshots coming closer and closer, and then you find a bomb shelter next to the gas station, and you find that all the people inside of the bomb shelters, and the first thing that you do, you're going to the bomb shelter. In the moment that I'm going to the bomb shelters, it was approximately a quarter of this room, let's say until here, and we were like around 50 people inside of these bomb shelters. I always make fun that when I enter the bomb shelters, I saw the Israeli society, because it's Saturday morning. From one side you see the festivals, the festival kinda people, I don't know how to say it, like with a stupid banana hat and with like funny shorts, with sprinklers on their, like with some makeup on their faces, scared. And from the other side of the room, you see families who are going to a ride at 6, 7 in the morning, afraid of the festival people, most afraid of the missiles, because they're kind of shocked. Well, the people like, you're a very weird one. And there was kind of the difference in the society of who are the people who are going on Shabbat morning to this area. People was panicking, children were crying, and it was very hard to breathe. And my instinct, maybe because I'm raised from the Soviet Union, I don't know, but I need to operate. I close my feelings and I start to operate. I think this is one of the qualities that keep me alive. I just shut down. I have no feelings and I start to help people who I can. I was giving I had something for breath, that is a relaxation, and I was going through the people from the festival. Some of them were taking drugs, some of them have even took like the first drugs in their life, and then it's coming up and they're in a panic and they cannot breathe, and the door closing, you're hearing the gunshots, and the children are crying, and in these moments I'm saying, okay, we could handle it. We need to stay a little bit in the bomb shelters and then we could escape. And then the videos start to come. The terrorists not only butchered, murdered, kidnapped, raped us, they video it. They put GoPros on their head, and it was important to them to show us what they're doing to us. So imagining that you're in a bomb shelter with 50 people, there's a lot of panic, you cannot breathe, and everyone opens their phones in the Telegram, and then you see bomb shelters like a couple 100 meters next to you, or even a couple kilometers next to you, and you can see live how they're sending grenades inside and how they're kidnapping your friends. You could recognize the face of the security guard that you were kind of joking around a couple hours before that, on the floor, hands behind their back, foot on his hand, and getting kidnapped. You could see the pile of bodies in these bomb shelters, and you could recognize their faces. And then you understand that if you're going to stay here, you're going to die. In this moment, there was only one cop next to us and a couple of wounded next to these bomb shelters, and you can hear the guns going up and up. I'm going to the cop and asking, how can I help? He looked at me and he's saying to me, write all the names and numbers of all the people here. I start operating everything, and then I understand that we're in a maybe kidnapping situation where they need to evaluate, if I'm saying it right, where they should send the forces. This is my thought. So maybe we're not the first priority, because there is like thousands of people and you see so much videos going. So I did that, and I came to him and I asked him, what should we do? Should we stay here? We have like four ways to go, where we should go, what we need to do. He looked at me alone with one gun, with a wounded next to him, and he saying, look man, I have no idea what to tell you. I cannot make this decision for you. I know that kind of the only way out is on this way, because the other ways are filled with terrorists. In this moment, I was needed to think that, okay, should I jump on this opportunity to get away, or should I stay? Will I be the first idiot who will be killed, or will be the only one who gets survived? And I needed to make this decision, and I remember like, oh man, it's a life and death decision. How should I operate? And I said, yeah, I usually like to take risk, and I usually like to go to the paths that nobody goes. So I said, I'm going by my intuition. I'm going away. I was the first one to get away from these bomb shelters, because I was doing that. A lot of people get courage to go, and I took a lot of people in my car, and we went like 5 or 6 cars away from these bomb shelters. We start driving, and while we're driving, we hearing the shots, we seeing the missiles. You're going on the driveway, you already see the burned cars with bodies. You see, like, you're driving and you're just waiting to be attacked. You're going away, like, around the burned cars, and you're seeing smoke everywhere. And you're understanding that you're in a very, very bad situation. Again, I have no feelings in this moment. The more we're going, one of the car kinda, I don't know how
Turns
to say
around?
it. What?
Turned around?
Like, swerve? Okay, swerve, like, be in front of me. And then I saw a car very far away, and I could not recognize if it was a terrorist or if it was IDF. And I remember this moment that I'm stopping my car, and I'm putting all the cars behind me and saying with my, like, showing with my hand, stop. And I'm kind of sending to death the car in front of me to see if they get shot or if it's a friendly. And I needed to sacrifice this car. It was a hard moment for me to make this decision. Like, he went away, I could not stop him, but I remembering, like, saying, what will happen now? Will I lose these people or not? This was an IDF jeep, and what happened, he said to us, go to the kibbutz. We went to the kibbutz, and in the kibbutz, it was the kibbutz Elim. I found around 300 people. Some of them was wounded, the people from the festival. And these people from the festival are the one who escaped the jam. And in the jam, you see the bruised, and what's happened, they went, the jam, so it's very hard for me to speak after so much time. It's emotional for me. These kids who was stuck in the jam started running away, and they went on a field, and it was an empty field. And while they are running, they see the terrorists behind them sending RPGs and shooting on them. And there is a famous videos of like hundreds of people running, and they are just shooting them like ducks. Like I had friends running, and they're looking to right and left, and they're just seeing their friends fall, like get shot in the head and fall. Like there was not, so the terrorists was not searching, they were not asking questions, who is a Jew, who is not a Jew, who is Israeli. They was shooting everyone. At the Nova Festival, there was around people from 40 countries. It doesn't matter who you are, they were just shooting everyone. The one who survived and getting to the kibbutz, we were giving them medical care, and then in the kibbutz there was maybe 4 civilians with guns, and I came to them and I asked them, guys, what should I do? Like, how can I help? They look at me, they saw that I was kinda in a position to be effective, because most people was just in shock. And they tell me again, take the numbers and the name of all the people here. So there was like around 300 people. I start managing the situation. I go to the first person that I saw that can handle the mission, and I just said, okay, I was yelling, all the men go down of this building, all the girls go up to the second floor, and we start taking the names and numbers of everyone. In this position, I was the only authority. In this kibbutz. So all the military people went away. All the military civilians, like not the military, the civilians with guns, went away to fight, and there was no one in the kibbutz, no one to talk to. And I was feeling responsibility because I was part of the production, and I needed to do something. So I was operating that. And people know me because I was known photographer in this festival. So I was the only authority, and I was taking all the girls just to write the names and numbers. And then the horrific stories came to me. People came to me to search help because there was a crisis. And I think in this moment, this is the main reason why I'm not sleeping at night, and I think was most of my trauma. It's because people who come to me and they were coming to me, like some girl come to me, she's coming to, like, yeah. They were coming to me to search help. They were sending me locations of people in the bushes, talking on the phone, and whispering. I could hear them. They're coming after me. They found me. Please help me. And they're giving me the phone, and they send me to the locations to send help. One girl came to me. One girl came to me while she lost contact with her best friend for a couple hours, and then the mom of her best friend called her, and she said to her that eventually the phone of her daughter was answered, and it was a Arab voice saying, I am going to rape your kid, and I want you to know. So these bastards, they wanted to humiliate us. They wanted to show us what they're doing to us. And they did it so much times. Like, I have so many stories in my head of hearing the last, girlfriends talking to their boyfriends on the phone and hearing the shots and then silence on the phone and coming to me to ask for help because I was the only authority. One of the famous stories of my friend, David Neumann, he and his girlfriend Noam were. David was a huge guy, okay? He was like a gladiator. He was almost 2 meters high. He was huge, he was muscle, he was blonde, and man, he was looking like a god. We all was jealous of him. He has this crazy energy on the dance floor that I maybe can count on my hands. How many people I met who are dancing like warriors, with all the spirit, and he was like that. He and Noam was my friends that we met in different festivals, and Noam was the artist. She was painting in the festival. When everything happened, they were hiding in a dumpster, in a commercial dumpsters. And I remember Noam telling me the story that when she and David in the festival, hearing the shots and seeing the bodies, and needed to hide, and they needed to choose left or right, which dumpster to take, left dumpster or right dumpster. David wanted to take her to the right dumpster, and she said, no, my intuition saying, take us to the left dumpster. They were hiding in the dumpster for a while, and there is one time the terrorists find out about the people hiding in the dumpsters, so they just came. There was around 10 people in each dumpster. On the right dumpster, they take a grenade and just throw inside and blew, and nobody survived. And in the left dumpster, they just shot and start shooting. The moment they start shooting, David saw that, and by instinct he just took Noam like that and threw in her back. David got shot in his chest and fell on Noam. Noam got shot on her ass, and for around 8 hours, Noam was buried under David's body. She heard his last breath. She was hiding she was hiding in the trash with the sausages and the ketchup of the festival under the bodies, playing herself dead until some of civilians find her. There was a lot of civilians who came down to the festival area with guns to save the people. Another story of my friend, of Dor Kapach and Lilush. Man, it was crazy. Really, it was like a Netflix movie. I could not lie about the craziness that happened there. Dor Kapach was in the military service, and so he have the background when the attack happened. They were in the festival. He is a masseuse, so he giving massage to people. So he stayed extra time to close his stuff, to close all his equipment. What's happened in the festival? The terrorists come and start shooting, and they're trying to escape. They get into the car and they start driving away. The terrorists saw that, going after them, shooting in the window. And one of their friends got hit in the head, and there was a couple of motorcycles going after the car with guns. So Dor was driving the car with the motorcycles behind him, Lelouch next to him, next to the driver's spot, looking to the right, and she could see the motorcycle next to her with a gun, looking at her and screaming on him, and he's screaming on her, Idbach El Yahud. And from instinct, she said that she's not a big believer, but she looked at him in the eyes. She saw the death in his eyes before he started shooting her, and her instinct was to look at him and start screaming on him, Shema Israel, Shema Israel, like that. I also had chills. Joe just took the car and went left and right, and just, go on the motorcycle and kinda put them away, and they killed the terrorist, on doing like that. And then while they're riding between all the cars, because there was a big jam, there were snipers starting to shoot them. Man, I could not lie, it's a crazy story. He was just going to the field and starting doing U-turns, like that, just to raise the sand up so the sniper could not shoot them off. This is one of the stories of the survivors, and we have 3,000 of them. I remember the screams in the kibbutzim from the phone. I remember the people coming to me to ask help and kinda telling me the stories of what's happened, and they're saying how the people get kidnapped, and some of them were kinda hiding in the bushes for a couple of hours before they come to the kibbutz, and they could hear how the terrorists was choosing which one they want to kill, which one they want to kidnap, and which girls they want to rape. And they were kind of saying, no, she's too pretty to be kidnapped, this one we're going to rape. Yeah. Around 4 o'clock in the kibbutz, after dealing with everything, I was trying to manage the situation. I was trying to put the pinpoints, the location of the people who needed to get help, to rescue, and I was sending to the military forces. Of course, nobody responded. The cell phone was out, no cops, no ambulance, no IDF, you see no one. Around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, there was a couple soldiers coming to the kibbutz, and said to us, we found one way to evacuate all of you, and in that way I was rescued. I just get in my car, take people inside in my car, and was driving away. I remember that adrenaline rush was going down, and you're just getting to being shot. You're driving on the car and you're looking left and right, and you start to be sleepy because you have not slept for 36 hours. I was one of the first ones to get into the festival, and I just remember driving with a car and watching the mountains, and from which mountain I will get the RPG shot, and for driving like that for 2 hours around all the deaths that we experienced. Yeah. So this is shortly my experience from the October 7th and from our friends. And I know it's terrible and there is a lot of darkness and we get butchered. And with all of that, I must say there is also good stuff that happened because of October 7th. Everyone talked about October 7th, but nobody talked about October 8th. On October 8th, there was no more left and right, and we get united. And when the army shut down, the government shut down, no one answered our phone calls. All society become one. All the people raised the money, going down to the Gaza Strip, giving the soldiers the equipment. Everyone volunteered, and it was amazing how we get united. And in the first week after October 7th, it was amazing how the Jews from diaspora, the Jews from America helped us, and I even say saved us, because we were in a bad situation, and we get so much help from you, by sending equipment because I was working with suppliers to send to this IDF soldiers, we get so much help from you. You basically saved us. And I really cannot say thank you to you for doing all this stuff. It was amazing. One of the questions that I was asking after October 7, it's why it's happened. Like why it's happened to us. And one of the interesting stuff that I understand is, so it's kind of hard to talk on this day. Someone have questions before I continue? No.
Yeah, I have a question. So, we know that people who resided in the Gaza envelope were very liberal towards the Palestinians, and they would escort them in to hospitals, and they took them into their families. And at the Nova exhibition that they had in Los Angeles, a lot of these young people who had been, maybe they said they were Nova survivors, they didn't move to the center politically. How do you feel about that?
What do you mean?
I'm saying that they didn't, because they were betrayed essentially by people who they helped.
Okay, so the staff. Okay, so you're saying.
And you say everyone united. But are people uniting now in the center? You know, politically center?
You're talking about the first year, what's happened after the war?
I'm saying in general, where the Israeli society is, but particularly the people who are very pro-Palestinian.
I'll tell you what I feel about that. I usually don't talk about politics left and right. I'll tell you that after the war, like, if we had any belief, especially survivors of people in the kibbutzim that are more leftists, had belief that we can have peace, I think it's shattered. People in the kibbutz are usually the people who are believer in like two-state solution and stuff like that, and there was inviting the Gazan people to work in their homes. The same people who worked in the homes of the Jews in the kibbutzim are the same people who come on October 7 and kidnapped and raped them. I don't think the people from the kibbutzim today believe in this utopian idea that we can live in peace with them, especially the kibbutzim. Like, think about that you're bringing people in your home, you're working with people from Gaza, you're giving them a job, and the same people giving this information to Hamas. And on October 7th, there was around 3,000 people who go from the boat and from Gaza to Israel. 1,000 of them were soldiers with a uniform, nukhbat and stuff, and around 2,000 of them were civilians. So people with flip-flops going from the Gaza Strip just to have fun, just to find the bodies, just to butcher, just to kidnap, just to rape civilians. I don't believe anymore that, especially people from, like the survivors or people from the kibbutzim or people from the Nova, believe that like they stayed in this left area. I really don't want to go more left and right and to go politics besides that.
The young people haven't left the left?
I'm gonna cut off the Q&A. Let's just finish it up, and then when everyone's done, you guys can have a one-on-one on it.
Amazing. Yeah. Anything? You have another question?
No, we're gonna cut off the question.
Okay.
So how long were you in the bomb shelter? It's just from a timing perspective.
So in the bomb shelter, I was around 90 minutes. So approximately I get to the bomb shelter is around 7:45, and I get away 8:30 around that time. And so this is the time that they been already in the festival and they start uploading the videos from the bomb shelters. Yeah. If I can give you one thing from all of that, I was asking myself why it's happened to us and why historically it was happened to us. Like why we had the Egyptians, we were slaves to the Egyptians, what Nazi Germany, the Ottomans, so many tribes and cultures tried to conquer us, and every time we survived it and we prospered. And today, when I'm looking at what's happened on October 7, I really believe that we will survive it and will prosper. If after the Holocaust we survived and prosper, I don't need confidence, I have experience. I'm looking in the history and I'm believing that we could have a better future. I'm believing that we are getting more united. I believing that we are getting more in our faith and in our spirituality to move forward from this point. Yeah. Sorry, I'm having right now a little bit emotional breakdown. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for coming, guys. It's kind of hard for me to talk. If anyone have another questions, I will have to answer. If someone wants to talk privately, please do. Thank you so much for bringing me. It was a pleasure. It's really an honor to be here. My life changed after October 7. I think all of our life changed. I think a lot of people wake up on October 8 and they kinda remember they're Jews. I was going a lot to giving speeches and a lot of people was shocked what's happened after. Like they wake up and then the neighbors doesn't want to talk to them. Kids in high school getting like bullied, especially in America. And it's very hard to see that. But I also saw a lot of like unity, and I'm seeing like a lot of hope when we are together. We're getting so much together, because when we run alone, we run very fast, but when we run together, we run very far away. And I think because we are united, I was asking myself like, why we survived, why it's happened, like why humanity works like that, and why it's happened to us. And then I was digging a little bit in history, and I found that we had like 7 types of humans. We have Homo sapiens, we have Neanderthals, and we have a couple more. And then I learned that we were not the smartest, we were not the strongest, we were not the fastest. So why our type of humanity survived? And then I found out it's because of community. Because when I'm sleeping and when you are protecting my family, and where you're going to hunt, I'm protecting your family, we're together. And I really believe that this is the stuff that kept us fighting in October 7 and October 8. Only because we get united, and only because we're together, we're stronger. So we're such a small nation, and only we're together we can deal with billions of people against us. And we survived so much because of that, because we know how to be together, because we have the holidays, because we remember our faith, because we're connected to ourselves. I think one of the things that death teach me is to appreciate more life. After I saw death in my eyes, I must only ask you to properly live life. And if you have if you have anything that you are debating, if you should jump to the opportunity, and if you're afraid to do something, please do it. Please jump on the opportunity and please take the risk. Because a lot of us cannot do it anymore. And a lot of my friends who are 20 and 21 years old, like, they was in the beginning and had so much dreams and cannot like continue the life. And I think the only thing that would make them happy is that we will not focus on death, and we will continue living, and we will believe to actually live, not only exist, to take risk, and to search as much possible moments of life as possible. Yeah. I think that's it. Thank you.
Not much to really say in concluding after that one, but I think on behalf of all of us here, Ainur, we appreciate you coming down and sharing your story, and none of us can relate to what you've been through, but I think we all stand in solidarity with you and the people that you've lost, and obviously wish you nothing but the best going forward. I'll just wrap it up really quickly on a quick story on my end to put an end to everything here today. And you know, this summer I spent some time in Europe. I was in Spain. I was in a coffee shop, and I was just kind of doing a bit of work and some emails and some calls. And on my computer it says "Bring them home now." There's a sticker and an Israeli flag, and I'm sitting at a communal table, and this family comes in, orders coffees, and sits down, and they're like, you know, are you from Israel? And I go, I'm not from Israel. And they go, well, we are. Like, aren't you scared to have that sticker there? Or you're in Spain, like people are gonna go crazy on you. And I was like, no, like I'm not worried about it at all. And you know, there were the mother and the father and the two daughters, and the one daughter's in the IDF, and you know, they're traveling in Spain. She was on, I guess, a couple of weeks off from the IDF, and they're traveling in Spain, and they're saying how they were kind of scared to show their Jewish identity. And I said to them, I don't think you need to, and, you know, we're having a conversation on it, and I'm saying, you know, I live in Canada, I spend time in Canada, and people think Canada's dangerous, but those of you who are here are from Canada, you know that when you're there, it's not really a big deal, it's just certain small factions, and we're just having this whole conversation, and two people over here at the table over, and they come over, and they're local, and they speak some English, and they're like, you know, we are, you know, fully supportive of you, and you know, you can show your highs and your Magen Davids and whatever else. And I saw the family feeling a lot better about life after that. And then they got up and they were saying Am Yisrael Chai to me as they were leaving. And that would be my message to all of you is, you know, we should be proud of who we are, whatever your background, religion is. Am Yisrael Chai, Shana Haba, and thank you all for coming.